Hello everyone, my name is Sasha and welcome to my Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile with Zaborg the Mega Monarch. So this is a really fun deck to play, and even if you don't start off with all your combos, you can put up a really good board. So you can either get your Guard Dragon board, or you can send all your opponent's extra deck to the grave with Zaborg. So it's a good deck, and it's definitely on a competitive level. You could definitely take this to regional and do well, and especially at qualifiers. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. This is more of a budget deck. It's not too expensive, and you can definitely play expensive cards in here. I will be missing a couple cards, and I will tell you what cards I am missing and what to replace them with. So, first things first, we're running obviously the 3 copies of Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, and then obviously, to go with it, 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon, because you just need to run these. Don't know what you're doing if you're not. So that's those. Then we have 1 Blue Eyes Solid Dragon and 1 Dragon Spirit of White. I like this ratio. You could probably run 2 Dragon Spirit of White depending on what you're going against. You should definitely maybe side the second Dragon Spirit of White. You could probably consider it. It could probably go well. And then Solid just gives you the negate on summon, and Dragon Spirit of White lets you to pop back rows, and both have effects to let you summon Blue Eyes White Dragon. And then to round off our high level monsters, we have 1 Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. This just helps bring out all your Guard Dragon stuff and all your combos. Moving on into our tuners. 3 copies of Sage with the Eyes of Blue, and 3 copies of the White Stone of Ancients. So these are your substandard cards. You use them for a lot of your combos. And Sage, pretty much when he's normal summon, you get to add a level 1 light tuner to your hand. So you can add Effect Veiler once you slide it in, or if you just decide to run it on its own, or any of your stones. And then Ancients just lets you get a free summon at the end of the turn when it's in the graveyard, and you can banish it to add a Blue Eyes monster from your graveyard back to your hand. Then we have 1 White Stone Legend and 1 Glow Up Bulb. I personally think this is a good ratio. You could definitely maybe try running 2 Legend, but I find that it will brick up at times. Legend just lets you add Blue Eyes to your hand, which sometimes really helps a lot, especially when you discard off Melody. You get 3 Blue Eyes Dragons pretty much. And then Glow Up Bulb is just a good card because you normal summon it and then tribute it to Link Summon Kariba. Then activate its effect and just summon it back, so you have another card on the board so you can go into your later Link plays. That's actually it for tuners. Then we just have 1 Wyvern Buster, 1 Color Serpent, or however you say that. You could definitely run 2 Color Serpent, but these are just good for bringing out certain cards. It helps with your Guard Dragons, because I'm not running World Legacy Guard Dragon. I just don't have it. Instead, I'm running a different card that does almost the exact same thing. You just don't get the additional summon. That's why I'm running these 2. As well, that's also the reason why I'm running Guard Dragon Garmodies and Guard Dragon Prominence. These are just also good to be able to just recycle themselves back and forth, and they're really consistent unless you get both in your hand, in which you're kind of screwed. And then lastly for our monsters, 2 copies of Zaborg the Mega Monarch. I wouldn't run any more than 2. You could try running 1, but 2 is enough because you are not too afraid of ditching it of your Glow Up Bulb, and you can also discard it to draw 2 cards off of your trade-in. And this is just your way of, after going into your Guard Dragon plays, sending the rest of your extra deck to the grave because you're not going to need it for the rest of the duel, and then honestly just shutting down your opponent, especially if they're playing Salamangreat. Grace. There's really not much they can do after that because they really need their extra deck. That's it for the monsters. Let's go ahead and move on into our spells. So for the spells, we're obviously running 3 copies of the Melody of Awakening Dragon. Pretty much this allows you to add your Blue Eyes Dragons to your hand or your alternatives to hand just by discarding a card. So it's a good way to get your stones in the grave. Then we run 3 copies of Trade-In and 1 cards of Consonants. So these are just your draw power. Sometimes your stones will brick up. So like you can normal summon Sage, add your stone to your hand, and then cards of Consonants it away to just draw 2 cards. And draw power is definitely good in this deck. You can consider running Pot of Desires. Just sometimes you don't want to banish your combo pieces. It's just too risky. I don't really like it because I'd like to also be able to have a lot of cards in my deck. But you can definitely run it if you want. It's a good draw 2 card. Then our replacement for World Legacy Guard Dragon is Column Switch. They pretty much do the exact same thing. You can target a monster in one of your main monster zones and move it to another one. So it's pretty much the exact same thing as World Legacy Guard Dragon, just don't get the special summon from grave when it's activated and it's not a continuous field spell. So this is just how you get into all your guard dragon plays. 3 copies of Return of the Dragon Lords. Great to bring back all your monsters, your Blue Eyes of Dragons, your Crystal Wing. Then we have 1 Silver's Cry and 1 Monster Reborn. I think you really need to run these. Silver's Cry is great during your opponent's turn, especially to bring back Dragon Spirit of White. It's good for banishing problematic spells and traps that your opponent has on the field. 1 copy of Dragon Shrine and 1 Foolish Burial. I definitely think that this is a good ratio. You don't really want to have too many Dragon Shrine. You could try running 2. It will work out well, but sometimes it does get a little iffy if you want to play 2 or not. And then 1 for 1 to round off our spells. This is just our way of being able to go further into our Guard Dragon combos to summon from deck. For traps, I'm running 2 The Ultimate Creature of Destruction and 1 Rivalry of Warlords. Ultimate Creature of Destruction is just great for making your Blue Eyes invincible, and you get to use it twice. And then also Warlords, it's just a good floodgate against many decks. This is what I'm running instead of Skill Drain, but you could definitely run Skill Drain instead of Rivalry of Warlords. Warlords is good against certain matchups. If you're ever going against Galaxy Eyes, you can definitely shut them down because they need to be able to have all the different monsters. So it's always really nice to be able to have that option, especially if you have already all your dragons on the field. That's actually it for the main deck, so going ahead into the side deck, I run 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 1 Effect Veiler, 1 Infinite Impermanence, and 1 Droll and Lockbird. So, I understand that Impermanence is pretty expensive. Just replace it for Effect Veiler. They do the exact same thing. Just Impermanence can't be called by the Graved. So that's why Impermanence sometimes is better. And that's also... Oh, no, it's not a once per turn either on both of them. So, yeah, you could definitely run both. 3 Twin Twisters. Again, getting rid of your problematic spells and traps that your opponent has. I actually I was playtesting, and honestly, these cards worked out a little well. 2 copies of Deep Eyes if you ever want a late game burn, because you can just summon him off of so many cards, and you're going to have a lot of dragons in your grave, so you can inflict a lot of damage. And it's not a once per turn effect, so if you can mass summon him, you can deal a lot of damage and kill your opponent that way. And then just for other extra deck monsters that you could have, 1 Full Armor, 1 Tachyon, 1 Stardust, and 1 Decode Talker, just for replacements of what else you have. So that's it for the side deck. And then, going into the extra deck, we are running 1 Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. Only 1. You could try running 2, but you really only need 1. You can recycle it with your stones. And to be honest, you only ever really put out 1, because then you tribute it off into something else. 1 Azure Eyes. This is just good for protecting your monsters. 1 Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. This is your negate card. Stop any problematic cards on the field. Crystal Wing is your monster negate. So he's really nice. You're able to put out some boards. That's it for the synchros. We're running 1 fusion. I'm running Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon. It's just really fun to play. It's also really easy to get on the field. And it's really hard to play around because sometimes they need to be able to destroy your monsters, and Blue Eyes Twin Burst, if he can't destroy a monster, he just banishes it. So that's always really nice, and it gets 2 attacks on monsters. Only 1, but you could definitely try running 2. I just needed the space. Igsies, 1 Hope, and 1 Number 90. These are just more negates that you can get in the field. And then for your links, your 1 Link Karibo, and then your 3 Guard Dragons, LP, Piston, and Agerpain. And then I have Reprodocus, Decode Talker, Agave Dragon, and Beauregard. I don't actually have a Saryuja, so this is where you can choose. I have a Agave or Reprodocus. You could take out either of those for it. But the deck really does pop off really well, even without Saryuja. Just Saryuja gives you the extra cards and draw power. So that's it for this deck profile. So thank you guys a lot for watching. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe for more content. And make sure to click that notification button, because I do not upload videos regularly, maybe like once a week. If I even do upload that week. So yeah, I generally try to upload Wednesdays or Thursdays. So yeah, look out for that. And then also, side note, if you This is for the extra deck. If you really want to go more into the Zaborg play, you could definitely try running 3 copies of Elder Entity Entis in it, so that when you send them to the grave, you get to destroy 3 cards on the field, because you're going to be sending 3 of these. So that's really nice. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed, hit that like button. Expect duels coming soon, especially with this deck, and I'll be updating this deck and posting and telling you guys when there is stuff to update. And then I'm going to be showing you the combo video of how to bring out all your guard dragons with this specific deck soon, so keep an eye out for that. And so thank you guys a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.